I think I did it right this time, and you guys are probably thinking, oh, Sam's back because Sam got on time, and now it sounds like I'm talking about myself in the third person. I'm talking about Sam Gianfala. But nope, he's not. I finally just learned how to count to 15. All right, you guys, I have to go through these announcements fast because we've got a full docket tonight. I've got 3 very special guests I'm super, super excited about. So really quickly, well, first of all, I want to say this. We had our Mark and Mask Awards show this past weekend, and I have to say we had an awesome season with really great performances, and it was so wonderful to talk about them and to go through and remember all of the great stuff in theater we saw. If you missed these shows, you missed out. I hate to tell you. So I want to say when we get back to live theater after the apocalypse, make sure and get your season subscriptions to Kentwood because we're doing some good stuff. We opened the season with Pippin, then it was followed by Blithe Spirit, then it was followed by Dial M for Murder, then Little Women, and ended with The Giver. Such a good season. And so I really wanted to give a huge congratulations to everybody that participated, designers, crew, actors, directors, producers, choreographers, everybody. Congratulations. So you all were freaking amazing. And it was really nice to think about all the wonderful theater we got to see this last year. So yay. All right. That's my first thing. The second thing is She Kills Monsters by Little Renegade Productions will be on September 26th and 27th. I will have links and times and all of that for you coming up when Sam gets back from vacation. Also, the virtual play reading series is happening, and we're starting that in September, and some announcements will be going out very soon. And for those of you who don't know, those are original pieces that have been submitted to our plays committee, and they are specifically for the Zoom theater world we're living in. So we are still taking submissions. If you have something written, it just needs to have no more than 6 characters, between 10 and 30 minutes, and fits in this Zoom format. We want it to be something that we can tell using Zoom, not just like a reading, but we want to really make the most out of this crazy Zoom theater we're living in. Let's see, make sure I got all of that in. Oh, where do you submit? Great question. You can submit at plays@kentwoodplayers.org. Also, if you are interested in directing, also submit through plays@kentwoodplayers.org. And we would love to have some new directors. So please, please, please submit. And then you don't even have to have a play. If you just are interested in directing, our plays chair will reach out to you and talk to you and find a play that will suit everybody. So, yay. Also, this was exciting. We learned yesterday at our member meeting that the October Music Hall will happen. Yay! So if you want to participate in that, make sure you email Roy Okida. I am not going to give out his personal email over this live internet show for the entire world, but you can email plays@kentwoodplayers.org, or if you're a Kentwood member, email Roy Okida. And as always, if you need information, you can always email marketing@kentwoodplayers.org, and I'll also hook you up that way too. And last but not least, we've got the recordings of the Markham Award Show and the after party with I'm a Hot Mess and Mama Lou Soul. Those will be released very soon as well. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on my very special guests. So first, and I just said them, and then I want to make sure I get these right. I want to make sure featured actress in a musical. So, do I have that right? Yes. Featured actress in a musical, Fiona Okida. She is a former Kentwood kid and Jack's girlfriend. We're very excited to have Fiona on the show with us. We also have winning for featured actor in a musical as Theo and Pippin, featured actor in a play as Asher and the Giver, and lead actor in a play as Jonas in The Giver. We also have former student body president, current middle schooler, 3-time Mark and Mask winner, Elliott Plunkett. And then also for winning Best Supporting Actor in a Play for his role as Inspector Hubbard in Dial M for Murder, we have the new board president of Theater Palisades, Phillip Bartoff. So let me welcome all my guests on. Oh, did I lose them? Oh, good.
I think you lost Phillip, though. He left the meeting.
Oh, no. I'm going to look. I thought maybe those announcements were too long and you all were like, I'm out. Elliott is typing things. There he is. There's Elliott. Let me see. Let me, I don't know what, hold on. We did lose Phillip, so I'm going to keep an eye out for when Phillip comes back. Okay. He probably had theater board business, now that he's the big president over at Theater Palisades. That's exciting. We'll hear more about that later. So while we're waiting for him to join back with us, congratulations. I'm so excited for you both. Oh, he's back. He's back. Let me let him in. We have news while we're getting Phillip in. We have news that Sean actually is the one who broke the Jack story, and I just wanted to say I do remember that.
What?
When he let the cat out of the bag at the member
meeting. What are you talking about?
You know what we're talking about. Hi, Phillip. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry, I got kicked off. I don't know what happened, but
no worries. I'm starting to think Mercury is in retrograde, given all of the weird technical difficulties we've had tonight. So first I wanted to say congratulations to all three of you for your Markham wins. It was very, very exciting. And such great work this year. I want to make sure that I get all of my questions up. The first question I want to know about from all three of you is how you first became acquainted with Kentwood, and what was your first show at Kentwood? And whoever wants to go first, you can go first. We'll just go down the line.
Okay. So I was introduced to Kentwood through my dad. He actually did a couple of shows there, and before he was in like rehearsals for a show, we watched The Little Mermaid, which was amazing, and I knew that I really, really wanted to perform there. It was such a nice theater, and the community was really nice.
Yeah. Yay. That's great.
When I heard about Kentwood, I don't know, my parents were just like, hey, this theater's doing Annie, and you're gonna audition. And so I auditioned for Molly, and I didn't get it, and I was like, oh, that's okay. But then they had me audition again for Candide, and we really didn't think I'd get cast, because there's no kids in that show at all. But Catherine Graham, I guess, kind of made a weird extra part for me. And then I was also the baby lamb with Brittany Wheeler as my mama lamb. I'm sheep. So that was my first show with Kentwood.
That is so great. And can I just say, shout out to Brittany Wheeler. I love that girl. She's a powerhouse actor. So what a great opportunity for you guys to get to be mama and baby lamb. Phillip, how'd you hear about Kentwood?
Well, I have to go way back in time to 2010, I guess, when I just moved back here from New York, where I'd been for 5 years and did a lot of off-Broadway and off-Broadway. And I saw if you remember Backstage West,
oh, yes.
the actual paper, I saw a call for Private Lives.
Oh.
And so I showed up for the audition. Unfortunately, didn't get cast. But then I got a call from Gail Bernardi.
Yes.
If I'd be interested in 6 Degrees of Separation. By that time, I'd already been cast at Theater Palisades in Chapter 2, which was my first play over there. And then I tried out another time for, the Christmas thing. It's a Wonderful Life. Radio play. Didn't get cast. And third time's a charm. when I saw the note for Farragut North, I auditioned and I got cast. So
that is great.
Perseverance.
That's right. That's right. And let's talk New York just for a minute. Where did you live in New York?
Well, my wife and I decided we have a New York adventure back in 2003, and we lived in Manhattan on the middle Upper West Side, 81st and West End initially, and then 63rd and West End.
Oh, that's great. I lived in Astoria, Queens for about 6 years. So
Well, I tried to get into the Astoria Playhouse. Is that the name of it? Astoria Performing Arts Center?
I think that might be after my time. I was there from 2000 to 2006. So I think that might have been, I don't know.
I can't remember. I tried to get in there. It's a kind of a big performing arts center out there.
That is so
But they said, stay where you are. You don't want to, because they're equity. That was it.
Yeah.
Right? So
That's so cool. I love New York. I love LA, but New York holds a special place in my heart.
just hated the summers.
Yeah, exactly. So that is so great. I'm so glad that you found Kentwood and that you were a part of this past season, which is great. So each of you, well, I guess technically, Elliott, you were in 2 shows that we're in, but we're in 3 with 3 different shows to cover. So let's start with Pippin because that was the first show of the year. Why Pippin? What made you guys want to audition for Pippin? Or were you like, well, it's a musical, I guess I'll go?
For me, it's a musical. I got it. Let's go. Let's go do it. It's a musical. Let's go. Is there an ensemble? Cool. I want to do that. Let's go. But I had no clue what it was about. And then my parents had me watch the original. And when we were watching it, I was like, wait, where's the plot? Wait, where's the plot? The intermission's here and there's no plot. Wait. And then we're halfway through act 2, and then he dumps Catherine. And I'm like, wait, there was a plot, and then you left it back there. And then the ending. And then everything fit to me, and it blew my mind. And then I was like, I'm listening to this again and again and again, and I see all the darkness and I loved it. I fell in love with it, and I was so happy to be in the ensemble because we are dark.
I love it. I love your enthusiasm. I'm totally all about that right now. And I have to say, not to call you out, but I think one of the things that made you really shine in the show was your dancing. And I've known you for a long time. I've known you since, well, I think my first introduction, I don't even remember. I've known you for a while. And I've watched you grow as a young actress. And in this show, you came alive with your dancing and your characterization of your player. She really had such a life to her. And when you came on that stage, it was just, you just lit it up, and it was just fantastic. It was a little hard for me to watch as a teacher because there was you're a grown woman now. I'm having a hard time with it. But it was really great. You really did shine. Elliott, what about you? Why Pippin?
Because it was the first show that had a kid's role in it that the auditions hadn't already passed for. And also because it was a musical. Musicals are fun.
Yeah. That's great. And I'm so glad you did it because you were the most adorable Theo. And you had such, again, strong presence and just, you held your own and really just gave it to us adult actors. I mean, you really held your own. I was super proud of you. I was like, this kid's going places. I'm going to come back to you and talk about The Giver because I want to go in order. So Phillip, why Dial M for Murder?
It is one of my favorite movies. Going back to, it's a Hitchcock movie with Grace Kelly and I can never remember his name, the lead guy. Anyway, I like that. The playwright, Frederick Knott, only wrote 3 plays. Dial M, and then Wait Until Dark, which is his most famous.
Yes.
And then something called Write Me a Murder. And I can now say I've been in all 3 of his plays. I did Wait Until Dark in New York, playing the villain. Did Write Me a Murder. We did that at Palisades a couple of years ago, played the villain. And this time was a chance to play, more avuncular person. And, everything combined, I jumped at the chance and happily, made it through and got cast.
That is wonderful. I didn't realize he'd only written 3 shows. But I have to, well, now I'm going to have to check out the third because I was obsessed with Wait Until Dark. And then when I first got asked by George to consider doing scenic design for Dial M and sat down with the script, I was like, this is fantastic. He always puts those twists and turns in there.
Write Me a Murder is a very interesting play with a good twist at the end. And commercially, it was a little more successful than Dial M as a stage play. But it's never been filmed. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was made into like a TV movie in the UK, but that's about it.
Interesting.
But it's a very, very worthwhile play.
I'm going to check this out. I just love his twists. I mean, they're just really fun. And you were quite excellent and entertaining in that show. I really loved it. I saw it a few times and just thought it was fantastic. You did a great job.
Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. Real quickly, Melody Rivers had a special all-hour Fiona when I was talking about you being all grown up. So I'm not the only one. So Elliott, let's talk about The Giver because I know that had a different meaning for you. So why The Giver? Why did you want to audition for that?
Honestly, like, 4th grade, favorite book of all time. Just best book ever. And when I heard that they were doing that, I was like, sign me up! Yes! I need to do this!
Yes. I know you had been talking about doing The Giver for a while. You were really excited about it. And that makes me really happy. And real quickly, you were double cast with another terrific actor, Jack. And I found it so interesting. You were each cast as the supporting role as a friend and the lead, and then you would switch off. So talk to me really quickly about how crazy was that?
It's honestly not that crazy. It's like for a weekend you'd play a role you were used to, and then the next weekend you would play a role you were used to. It wasn't really that crazy, honestly. It would just be like the person playing like the side actor would be the side actor that night, and they would get into the side actor, and the person playing the lead that night would just be the lead. It like they kind of just went down completely different paths. It was funny though. It's like one weekend you're the super strict, like crazy emotional art character. The next weekend you're the funny guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it really gave you an opportunity to stretch your acting muscles a lot. And you and Jack are really good friends in real life too. Is that true?
Yes.
That's what I observed and heard. That's really cool. I love those bonds that it makes in theater. Let me ask you this. Well, first, let me say this. We have a viewer that said they saw every Pippin. And I know that's true because they also helped out. So thank you, Lefty. Also, he pointed out it was really crazy to watch the two of you work, both you and Jack, and that you're just like so relaxed about it and talented is what they said. And I thought I saw that as well. I observed that as well. It's especially for being new and both of you new into the acting world. It was really impressive. Really impressive. Gloria also says you'd be in character all week depending on who you're playing. Goofy Asher 1 week, contemplative and serious Jonas the next. So we have a Daniel Day-Lewis amidst us. That's good to know. Good to know. All right, so let me ask each of you, what was the most challenging part in preparing these characters and in the show? What was the most challenging part of doing the show? Or maybe there wasn't a challenging part. Maybe it was just easy peasy. Fiona?
I guess I'm going.
Yeah.
So it was kind of challenging trying to figure out, well, the choreography was, okay. So there was the onstage role where you're like very cool and you know everything's working. And then backstage you're like, I gotta change. It was like a big balance. Like I walk off stage and I don't know, in a cool manner. And then I'm like, move on, I gotta go. And it was good to have that switch. And also, as mentioned before, the provocative moments, I was a little. I mean, I was excited because like this hasn't happened before, and I'd like to do this on stage. This is fun for me at least. But my father was in the show, and my mother was in the pit, and I was like, "Is this okay? Is this allowed?" Okay. And everyone in the cast, they had known me as a child, and they're like, "This is terrible. This is absolutely scarring." And I was like, "Well, my mother sat me down, and she said, 'You be as sexy as you can, because that's the character, and I will be proud of you.'" And oh, I don't know if that was the exact words, but that's what I got from it, and it worked.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I do have to say, backstage, I felt like we should have had a camera backstage. I mean, we couldn't because people were changing, but it was like insanity backstage. There were clothes flying everywhere. And then it's totally that moment of like right before going on stage of, it was just really amusing to watch. And I think that, those players that were dancers had like 92 costume changes. That was insane. How you able to keep your focus and not go crazy, I don't know. But it was really great to watch. It was really great to watch. And I didn't even think about how awkward that would be having your parents in the show because I was scarred myself. But that's funny. What about Phillip or Elliott? Did you guys have challenging moments in either of the shows?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, portraying pain and once again that big emotional arc with Jonas, it's hard. It's like hard having to generate such like pain or sadness or something that you've never experienced before and just putting it out in front of a bunch of people. It's hard. It's like magically generate it without like I don't know.
Yeah, it was a real vulnerable moment where you had to be really raw on stage. Yeah. But I really applaud you for going there every night. And that was really great. That was really great. Was there something that got you into that point? Something that you did, a little trick that you did, or what did you focus on to get you there?
One of my tricks, honestly, in the thing was that when we were running lines in parts of the script, this probably wouldn't work now, but I would just write "feel it" in the script in a bunch of different spots, and I would just like look in a corner of one page and I'd see "feel it," and I'm like, why did I write that? And then I realized, like as we're doing rehearsals, oh, that's why I wrote that.
Oh, I love it. You just really give yourself permission to go there. That's great. Phillip, how about you? What were your challenges doing this role and doing the show?
My challenge was mainly dealing with the problem that my character doesn't enter the play until the second act.
Oh.
So you have to be, and I do my own vocal and physical warm-up prior to the shows, then get into costume. But then you have the whole first act and intermission to wait out. So it was keeping the necessary character focus going and energy. So I relied on some Alexander technique work there too. And again, just be ready to knock on the door and announce myself when Mrs. Wendis opens it. So that was the hardest part, and not being distracted once intermission came, the actors came up, So that was. I've only done that in one other play where my character didn't show up until the second act.
That is so. That's really interesting. Yeah, that's interesting because you think about it. Everybody's getting excited for the opening of the show, and you're like, I got some time. But that's interesting. Well, you nailed it because I never felt that you were out of focus or anything coming in. So.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
And I want to say also to my students, one of which is on this thing, let's also give a little shout out. Notice he said Alexander technique. I'm not crazy. When I gave you all these movement things, you will use them for the rest of your life.
I would just tell the younger colleagues here that the first chance you get to take Alexander technique, do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's applicable not only to the stage, but to your general life.
Absolutely, in everything. In as I slowly start to release forward, in your voice, keeping your voice
My
healthy.
neck to be free.
Right. Keeping your voice healthy, keeping everything open. We were talking about emotional connectivity. Ellie, you're talking about that. It really helps everything to be channeled so that you have that free to have blocks in there. It's great.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Aw, yay! Shout out to Technique. We have a viewer who wants to know Elliott, to talk about your sad walk in Pippin. We see you laughing.
Oh, right, that. Well, I would walk to a place where I would sit down, and a scene would start between me and Pippin, but I would walk over to that sitting area during rehearsals, and I would be so sad or I would try to think about how much I'm walking, how I'm walking. I wouldn't walk naturally. I just kind of go. I just kind of walk with stiff knees, and I'm like, okay, walk normal. No, loosen up those joints. Okay, that's loosen up.
I love the thought you give to every specific moment. That is really wonderful. It's super impressive too, given your age. That's great. Let me ask you all this: what was the most rewarding experience about these shows and playing these roles? Yes, Elliott, go.
I don't know why I raised my hand.
I will call on Elliott in the front row. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, just bonding with the casts for any show. It's always about the experience, or bonding with someone, or bonding with the cast. Yeah, it's just the experience, basically, just making new friends, getting to do a show in general. That's awesome.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. That's the best reward, actually. Phillip, Fiona, what was the most rewarding part for you?
Well, I kind of echo, excuse me, the bonding that we had with the cast, among the cast, was second to none. I had acted with one of the actors, Ross, who played Lesgate. We'd been in 12th Night together in Palisades. But everybody else was new, and we just all clicked it off. I think the world of Jeremy and Justin as actors, and Ross, of course. And then happily, Courtney, who played Mrs. Margot, after the end of Dial-M, I did talk to her about maybe auditioning at Palisades, which she did, and got cast as Truvy in our production of Steel Magnolias. So it was, just lovely to keep the camaraderie going. Would love to work with each and every one of them again in some project.
I love that. I noticed that too about your cast. You guys really had a great bond, and I think when casts can really bond together, it reflects greatly in the performance. It really does.
And then the other thing I have to say, I was very impressed with the way Kentwood handled everybody pitching in as a team to help with the set. Not only taking it down, but putting it up, and that was lovely. And George was terrific as a director, and also helping guide the construction of set, which I helped to do one afternoon. It was a lot of fun. Kentwood made the whole thing a very fun project.
Thank you. Oh, that's so good to hear. That is so good to hear. And that's one of the things that I love about it too, is that everybody comes together to participate and really collaborate on a project. It's very rewarding too. And that, I think, heightens the quality. I mean, it's a small community theater, 112 seat houses. We're not dealing with budgets of, thousands and thousands of dollars, but we have great production value. And I think that's one of the things that helps the people. Absolutely. That's great. Thank you. Fiona, what about you? What was most rewarding for you?
Is there an echo? Because you're going to hear about the cast again. The cast is the best. This specific show, I don't know if it was the message or something, or just a really good cast, and we were all friends. Like even the newer additions to the theater, like Dorian or Katie. It was just like, yes, you're part of our family here, and probably that tribal bond as an ensemble, like to kill Pippin, is also something that brought us together as well. We were like, Dad, let's go. And no, what was really rewarding besides the fire working when needed to, that was great.
Yeah.
It was the final scene when we all have our own way of breaking down the situation, and some people are isolated, some people look to others, and it's just everyone's in the moment. And I'm finally on stage with people that I've known for a while, but I haven't actually gotten to share the stage with them or have any lines with them, and I still didn't get to have lines with them, but okay, I'm gonna give a shout out. This is the first time I got to really not bond, but work on stage with John Sparks, because of course we had been on stage, but it was never at the same time, and it was only 5 seconds where we look at each other, and I'm like, what's going on? Is the leading player okay? And he says, yes, you can trust her, and it was just like really 5 seconds, but it was amazing.
Yeah. I have to say, that scene, and I said this before when I was interviewing with Allison on Sunday, that scene, obviously for me, the actor, that moment is a huge moment. But what made that so powerful and rewarding to live in was all of you guys. And it was exactly what you just talked about, that everyone was in the moment and had their own connections and story and real personal feelings about what was happening. So anywhere I looked at any point on stage, there was life happening. And it was such a great representation of what we do. Art is it's a representation of life. You guys were incredible. And it was those moments, every moment I would see something different, a connection, an eye, a comfort, a holding, a word. It was incredible to watch. Just exactly what you guys were saying. Oh, it was great. And it was wonderful. I get a little chills. So let's talk what your current projects are. I know we're in a very weird time. There's not really any live theater happening, but there's some Zoom theater, and there might be some other projects. So what are you all working on currently? And if just surviving also counts, because that's what I'm working on.
I did a couple of auditions. One of them was for a cartoon voiceover, and one of them was for a movie.
Oh, one of them was for a what?
A voiceover for a cartoon, and one of them was for a movie.
I still didn't hear that last one.
Movie.
A movie. I thought you were saying a bootleg, and I was like, I don't know if you should be saying this. Okay. For a movie. Okay, great. Awesome. When do we get to see that?
Hopefully after the pandemic's over, I'll be able to do some more shows live.
Great. Fiona, Phillip, what are you both working on?
I am hoping that I get into anything at my high school, because that's everything, I guess. But I did get a text from my friends. They want to just film a musical, and they gave me a list to choose from, and I chose Legally Blonde. So it's just going to be 3 of us doing, I don't know, everything. I don't know, just for funsies.
That's great. We have to do whatever we can to keep the creative juices flowing. Also, though, wear your masks and stay 6 feet away from them. Okay. Phillip, what about you? What are you working on?
Well, I've been sending out auditions, 4 auditions. I did get cast in a Zoom play with a theater based in New York.
Oh.
About one of the world's great art forgers. And I played the judge in the criminal trial. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
The theater is based in New York, and it's 8 people in the cast. 4 of us were here in Southern California. 1 person in Arizona, 1 in Toronto, and then the rest of New York. So it was quite interesting to be in a production. And we had 3 days of rehearsal and then put it up, got an encore about 2 weeks later.
That's
So
great.
it was, it's a lot of fun. And I have a project that I'm working on that would be a feature film. I'm not holding out all that much hope, but if I got it, it would actually shoot in the first quarter of 2021.
Okay. Oh, all right. I'm
And then,
giving all the energy to you that you get that.
Yeah, thank you. And then, I have my hands full with this new endeavor at Theater Palisades. So we have some things to do, and whether it's repaving our parking lots, upgrading our website, to beginning the laborious task of putting together our reopening plan, including health and safety manual. So
Wow, that's a lot. And so is this your first time as president of the board over at Theater Palisades?
first time as president. I've been on the board twice before as head of the play selection committee.
Okay, great. So you got your work cut out for you. This is a lot of stuff coming out of this pandemic.
And then, we are hopeful that as many theaters are doing, putting up live theater through Zoom and through our YouTube channel, and reach out to our audiences, and ideally maybe expand our audience base, because we can be a bit of a schlep to get to on a Friday night, let's say. So, you don't have to leave your house. Come watch Theater Palisades.
Right.
That's enough of a plug there.
I think that's great. Will you please keep us posted on what you guys do so we can announce it and we can attend?
Oh, absolutely. I will say that we, the presidents of Kentwood, Morgan Wixon, and myself had a conference call, Zoom call, Monday evening, just to talk about areas of common interest. And so, I think that's opened up avenue of greater communication among the three theaters this week.
I love that.
We're all here in general West Side area.
That's right. I love that. And I think it's really great that we all support each other. And, we've all performed in either all three or two of the three theaters. And it's...
I actually got my start acting way, way back in 2002. I took it up rather late. But Morgan Wixon put me in The Taming of the Shrew.
My
very first role.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a soft spot in my heart for them.
Absolutely. Me too. It's great theater happening on the West Side for sure. And I love that we're going to work together and get through this pandemic all together. It's the only way. It's the only way to do it. Real quickly, we've got some viewers. So I've got Brandman Rex. Hello. You said a lot of things. So I wanted to give a shout out. We want to come back to. We'll keep you informed on auditions. And you can always sign up to subscribe and get all the information whenever we're doing Zoom theater and stuff like that. And also, Jack Matita says hello and wishes everyone, all of us, good fortune. So, hi back. And good fortune to you too. And thanks for watching. And you're awesome. We also have a special little friend of yours on today. Don't know if you noticed. He's good and supportive. I like him. We'll keep him. So, I was also going to say, Phillip, you had mentioned about doing the show in New York. I do think one of the really cool things that's coming out of this, and hopefully all four of us will be able to do more stuff, is we get to do theater with people from all over. And so it's really expanding who we get to work with and who gets to see our stuff. I don't know about the rest of you, but I also have family and friends all over everywhere in the world, really. So it really gives opportunity for people that normally wouldn't get to see us perform, get to see us perform. Silver linings. So real quickly, we're about to wrap up, but I just wanted to see your two things. I wanted to talk about if there were any crazy debacles in any of the shows you were in this season at Kentwood. that you wanted to share? I know we at Pippin have some silly ones, or any crazy things that happened while doing live theater, props malfunctioning, wigs flying off into the audience.
I was in a production of Dracula, playing Van Helsing down at Manhattan Beach Community Theater. And alas, the actor playing one of the important roles, we gave the cue line, "Where is he?"
Oh no.
And I swear to God, we had to fill about 3 minutes, which seems like 3 hours.
Oh, it does.
Of time. This other actor and I kind of ad-libbing and looking up stage.
Wow.
Saying obviously with a face, where is he? And then the guy like falls into the scene. He literally fell. And it was all because he'd been too wrapped up in his makeup. Because he had character makeup and everything.
Right.
And we thought that was it, and then it happened again the next night.
Oh no!
Yeah. So anyway, that's the craziest thing I can think of that it really ever happened.
Oh, that is hard when somebody misses a cue and you have to improv on stage, and then you're still trying to give them, because you don't know when they're ready to come on, so you're trying to give them hints.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so hard. Oh, that's so hard. Fiona, Elliott, any crazy debacles in any of your shows?
Well, in Pippin, I do remember one time where when I got up from that ledge that I was sitting on, I had scraped my knee and I walked off stage and I was talking to someone about how I had scraped my knee and it hurt. And a song's playing, and right after the song ends, it's my cue. So the song ends and they start saying their lines and I'm like, oh shoot, I can still make it down the stairs in time. So I start running and then they're like, we've got a surprise. And they just kind of awkwardly stare at each other, and then I run out and like, we've got a surprise.
Well, at least you didn't leave them for 3 minutes.
Yeah. Also, another thing, in one show, I was playing a kid, and I ran out of a room. And I had a bar of soap wrapped around my wrist with a rope. And I was supposed to slam a door and then wait backstage for the next scene. And I close it and the soap gets stuck on the door.
Like on the other side?
Yeah. Like right in between the crack. And you can just like look to the side of the stage and just see this like bar of soap wiggling in a door. Me just trying to get it through, just like get through the door.
No.
And then I'm just like, there was just this one triggering little shave of soap that was on the floor for the rest of the show.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I think I know what show that was. Fiona, we have a request actually from our audience. They want to hear about your wig in Sunday in the Park with George.
Whoa! I was originally going to tell that story, then I was like, there's a better story, so I guess I'll try to make it really fast. If you really want to know about my wig, okay, here we go. So, this is kind of a sad moment, because the main character from the first act died, and everyone's talking about, like, he was a good man, blah, 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 and my character is kind of this ditzy teenager, and I have this, my hair is like in bouncy curls, except it's not my actual hair. My hair is in a bun. There's a little hair piece that sticks in so it bounces and stuff. And there's an actor on stage, and they like tell me to like be quiet. And I turn my head really briskly to be like, kind of thing. And then I walk off stage. Well, one night we were recording. And then I turn my head so swiftly that my hairpiece falls off, and it doesn't just fall. I mean, I'm kind of off stage, so I didn't feel the embarrassment. This is more someone else's story to tell, actually, because my hairpiece fell on the other character's costume, and it their button, And then, so I wasn't the only person exiting the stage. There was another fellow teenager person walking behind me, and she thought it was a good idea to like pick up the hair on her way out. But since it was caught on the button, she just opened the person's costume. And this is someone died. This is a sad moment, and I'm surprised that actor did not like break at all. They just undid it. Oh, it's hair. And I don't know if they said anything, but then you just tossed it off stage.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Costume and just continued. And I don't know how that happened.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's great. Oh, I love it. You know, I love these stories. I always ask our crazy debacle stories because that's one of the things that we love about live theater is you never know what's going to happen. And yeah, the fulfillment is when we're telling a story and we're just staying in the moment. That's where we really get the fulfillment of storytelling. But it's also really fun to have something go wrong and have to figure your way out of it. I love it. You guys, thank you so much for joining and sharing your experiences with your shows. Congratulations on your awards. Well earned, well deserved. And thank you for sharing your talents and storytelling and supporting live theater. It's so great. I really appreciate it. Yay. All right, everyone, we will be back on Sunday, 7 p.m., and we have Vanessa Stewart with us, who just won a Cine for her play, Deadly, or musical. It's not a play, it's a musical. So we're going to have her on. She's the artistic director of Sacred Fools, and we're going to just talk all about her and writing and acting and, you know, all that good stuff. All right, we'll see you all later. Take care.
All right. Thanks, bye.